Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Governor Chukwuma Soludo on his re-election victory. President Tinubu described the result as an affirmation of visionary leadership and promised stronger cooperation between the federal government and Anambra State. In a statement released on Sunday, the president commended voters, security agencies, and the Independent National Electoral Commission for ensuring a peaceful and credible poll. Tinubu also praised the new INEC chairman, Professor Joash Amupitan, urging the commission to sustain what he called higher standards in future elections. Governor Soludo's landslide win across all 21 local government areas makes him the third governor in Anambra's history to clinch a second term. And now we'll cross over to Awka to join our news central correspondent Victor Mbadike, who's standing by to bring us the latest in the state. And of course, here in Lagos, we'll be joined by Wale Ogunade, who's a legal practitioner and president of the Voters Awareness Initiative. Good evening, gentlemen, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening. How are you, my sister?
I'm very well, Mr. Wale. Thank you. Talking about the Anambra State election, given the reports of low voter turnout in the several local government, even though we had 2.7 million registered voters, can you say, and they mentioned that the election was peaceful, but it had low turnout. How would your organization assess the level of citizen engagement and what immediate steps should be taken to increase turnout in future off-cycle elections?
At least peacefully as it were. No reports of violence at the insignificant level. And for me, citizens' engagement is something that is very, very important and needed. It's a very poor turnout out of 2.7. Less than 700,000 came out to vote, which means we have a shortfall of 2 million. And that's a huge one. And I was looking at Ukachukwu when he was talking. To me, that's a lazy politics. And of course, blaming the other side for your own mistakes and failures. There are 2 million people to Ghana. You fail to garner them. You fail to go out on the streets to encourage voters to come out. And now that the elections are over, you have seen your scorecard. What he's saying and doing, and his cohorts are other tribesmen in this regard who have lost and now sole losers, is akin to a child who, instead of studying very well before an examination, now says that the teacher hates him, the teacher did not mark his papers very well, and so on and so forth. He had ample time to combat for people's votes. And I normally say I've been involved in voter education, voter awareness, good governance for more than 20 years now. In this country, I have not seen a political party with voter education department or engaging the people in how issues of election, good governance should go, or encouraging voters to come out and vote, or engaging with them all through in any way. What happens is that just some few weeks to the election, they come out themselves as candidates. And of course, in some cases, coercing people, intimidating, or inducing the voter with some tokens to rise, or even as low as maybe 10,000 naira, which we call vote buying. And the result is what we have seen. People did not come out. Less than 25% were involved in this process. And it's a disgrace and a shame. To me, it's a big disappointment on the political gladiators, not only in Anambra, that's what obtains everywhere. The only thing is I hope that the Ekiti people and the Osho people, yes, the Ekiti and the Osho people will take a cue. Those who want to win should go to the grassroots, should go and relate and campaign to those unwilling or undecided voters who will now come and, of course, vote them in. If these people, those who have now lost, have gone to the hinterland, have gone out on the street, canvassing for the votes of those who are undecided, it will be a different ball game.
Right.
How can a governor win an election with less than 500,000 in a state that has 2.7 registered voters?
Right.
That's not good enough. It doesn't show hard work. It doesn't show seriousness.
Mr. Ogunade.
And to me, just a little bit after 500,000, above 500,000 naira, is not only poor but disgusting and even painful. Painful in the essence that a whole lot of resources have been deployed by the Independent Electoral Commission and by some other stakeholders like some of us who are election observers to go into that place to ensuring that we observe the election. Don't forget other organizations too, like the European Unions, have invested so much in the election, ensuring that they will observe it, and what they were met with a low voter turnout. That's not encouraging. And what is the reason for low voter turnout? The political class, the gladiators, well, we call them pretenders. They are not contenders, because we had more than 16 or 18 candidates who contested for the election for the governorship seat. And unfortunately, in this situation, it is only one office that they are contesting for. Not in other situations that we have the State House of Assembly being contested, either as the members of the House of Assembly equally contesting for their various seats in their various constituencies, together with that of the office of the governor. But here, just one, where it is expected that all the political parties, particularly those who are contestants, will mobilize their members and ensure that everyone is on board to vote its candidate or for them. But what happened? Some people scoring as less than 1,000 in a state election. That is poor. They should bury their faces in shame instead of coming to say rigging. Rigging. If you have mobilized your members very well, obviously the 500 that or less than 500 that voted for Soludo, that one will be a child play. The other 4, let's even assume that 2 of them are able to garner 1 million or 700,000 naira, 700,000 people or voters each. Definitely, it will change the narrative. Not this one now, that very few number of people came out to vote, and you are now shouting rigging that the people would buy. How many votes can they buy when we are having millions of people? They can only induce people with money when they see that the number of people are insignificant. Right. Obviously, if I buy up people when it's close to 200,000 people, 400,000 people. But when we have a large number of people, I don't see that happening. Even if it happens, then we'll have the crowd. And election, don't forget, is about numbers.
Right.
Once the number is there, it encourages democracy.
My next question will be that with the outcome and the winner announced, what mechanisms do you recommend for ensuring that citizens' votes translate into actual accountability, governance, responsiveness, and transparency? How does Voters Awareness Initiative intend to monitor or engage with the new administration?
In the next 4 weeks, we'll now do some involvement, interaction with our people, Awka, Onitsha, Obosi, all these towns, major towns, and of course some equally communities like Liliu, like Ekunofia, and all these other communities with our people there, for them to put up their needs, what they expect government to do, projects they expect government to set up for them or to create for them. Is it in areas of road? Is it in area of real infrastructure? Maybe pipe bore water, maybe dispensary, maybe creating support for the farmers, or encouraging business development, developing market, road infrastructure, providing maybe support for transportation. Transportation, not these small buses, but big trucks that will move products from the rural area to the urban area, or even to move cross country. All those things are issues that we want our people to engage the government with, so that indeed there will be dividends of democracy, as we normally say. And once the people are able to engage government, government will have no other choice but to relate with them, to resonate with them, and to bring development to the people, to the rural area. Yes, indeed. Anambra, the two governors that have the previous one and the current one, they did a great job in opening up the rural areas, road networks in some places, but it's still not enough, because I guess the last time I visited the state before the elections, when we went to see how we can get ourselves, I remember our people who will be there, yes. I remember this road, it leads to maybe Agulu or something like that, a very small, the next village after Awka, I want to believe this is the road, the dual carriageway, and very fine. No doubt they are still constructing. I guess this one is an inner road. Well, this road infrastructure, just as I said, the two previous governors, what's his name now? I've forgotten the man's name, and this Soludo, the piano, no, not the piano, I remember his name before we go, did a lot in the area of road infrastructure. And I hope that this governor will consolidate on it, but even if he does not want to consolidate, generally will not give him a resting time.
Mr.
Because
Wale,
generally what happens, yeah?
I apologize. I had to interject. For time, we have to cut this conversation short. So I just want to say thank you for joining us and giving us your view on the situation. Thank you so much.